Hey everybody, I'm Baltmatrix, and today we're going to take a look at some Bumblebee tuna. Okay, not really Bumblebee tuna. We're looking at evil Predacon TERRORSAUR. Now, you might be wondering, well wait, Predacon TERRORSAUR? This is a mainline release? Well, yes it is. I picked this up at my local Target, and it wasn't cheap for what it is, but this is not based off of the animation model on Beast Wars. This is based off the original toy that TERRORSAUR was released as back in 1993. That original toy was not colored the same as the cartoon model. If you decide to pick TERRORSAUR up for yourself, be sure to not miss the little package of accessories. We've got TERRORSAUR's gun, and then these little winglet talon pieces. They're all contained in a small little baggie of tissue paper. Really easy to miss it. It's duct taped onto the back of the container that holds the figure. Out of the packaging, TERRORSAUR looks pretty darn good. The red, the Decepticon purple, the black, and the neon green all work incredibly well. So much so that I prefer this over the animation model, over the figure that was in the Golden Disc set. I like this a lot more than that, and I have no idea why. I like the animation model. I think the animation model in the show looks good, but in the toy, I really, really like this. It just works for me on a level that the other one doesn't. Head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. That white face, the green eyes with the purple head, the white face with the green eyes, and even the smirk has a nice little black line on it. And then the head sculpt is in the Decepticon purple with the red crest. Oh, it's gorgeous. Man, if you told me this was a Beast Starscream, I would believe you. It has the Starscream smirk. TERRORSAUR's posability is good, but there is a problem, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So first off, let's get the gun out of here. Remember those other accessories? They plug into the forearms. I kind of wish they were painted. I would have liked them to have been silver or, ooh, neon green. That would have really tied the room together. Posability. Ball joint in the feet. There is a hinge here in the shin for the transformation. Hinge at the knee. Then there is a swivel at the upper or lower thigh. Series of hinges in the legs. There is limited torso articulation. Shoulders are on hinges. There is a swivel just above the elbow. Elbow is just over 90 degrees. No fist articulation other than curling in for the transformation. The wings are articulated, but they have a really bad habit of falling off. Specifically this wing on the figure's right. It just falls off. Like, I'll put a little bit of pressure on it while picking the figure up, and it just drops off, which is a problem. The other problem I have is the ball joints in the feet. Way, way, way too loose for my liking. Oh, and the shin joints are a little too loose as well. Both of these I can fix with just a little bit of floor polish. Just drop a little in there, let it dry, snap it, and then move it around to work it into the joint. And then if it's still loose, repeat the process. Also, the figure is back heavy, just like AirRaiser was, because there's a lot of junk in that dino trunk. There is a port in the figure's backside for a flight stand, though good luck because you do have to move this dino tail out of the way, and that does limit the amount of flight stand that you're able to jam up in there. Now, given the many joints of the figure, you can pull off a bunch of cool little poses. However, my figure, it's so back heavy, it just doesn't want to hold them because of the looseness of the ball joints and the ankles. So yeah, I kind of have to leave it static or get it to a point where all of its weight is just perfectly balanced. Otherwise, things have a tendency to fall over. Oh, I did forget to mention, head is on a ball joint, but because of that giant snarky chin, it doesn't have a lot of range, unfortunately. It can move side to side with no problem, but it can't really move forward and back unless you move the entire platform that the head is on, because the head doesn't want to look up and down otherwise. To start the transformation, come down to the feet and turn them around 180 degrees so that the dino toes are pointing forward. Straighten out the arms and put them out to the sides just a little bit. Come back to the wings and fold the wings out all the way, and then just replace them when they pop off. On the wing backpack section, straighten the wings out as much as you can, like that. Don't worry if things snap out of place. They go back in very easily. The plastic on the wings is a lot softer, at least to my hand, than AirRazor's wings are. So long and short of it, you want all the hinges to be in a line and pointing straight out like that. Fold the wings flush onto the figure, grab the torso and pull it up and away from the rest of the body. And then what you'll do is just wiggle that up as far as it'll go. So there is a hinge back here that you can see in black that the entire torso hinges up on like that. And you want to bring it all the way up. That way you can then take the robot head and flip it into the body, and then take the dino head and backpack and fold it down and snap it into place, and then turn the dino head around and flip it forward like that. Lift the tail up out of the way, take the legs and turn them around 180 degrees, and then drop the tail back down to somewhat lock everything in place. Take the legs and flip them up, out, and then turn them around so that the inside of the joint is pointing to the top of the figure. So up, out, and around. Then turn the shins so that they are pointing towards the back of the figure, and then collapse the legs down and snap the shin joint in so that you get this pseudo squat. And do the same thing on the other side. Bring the shin in, or bring the lower leg in, collapse the shin down, and then point it so it looks like it's going to do a chicken dance. Next, take the forearm, turn it 90 degrees so that the blade or the peg hole is pointing towards you. Take the forearm joint that is just behind the fist and ratchet that down 90 degrees, and then take the entire arm and get the fist so that it fits inside this cavity that is just inside the belly. There's a cavity right in there by that swivel. That's where we want the fist to go into. And it will slide right into place. So then we do the same thing on the other side, get it lined up, and slide it into place. And then we can bring the legs in, and they will peg into place in these little pegs that are sticking off the side of the hips. So those will peg into these little, tiny little peg holes on the inside of the thighs. And we're done. The dino mode we end up with looks more like a very angry red chicken than anything else. Mouth does open and close, and there are some nicely painted little dino chompers in there, which I do appreciate. I also appreciate the fact that they painted the eyeball, and the green coloring or scaling continues in this mode. The only thing I really don't like is the lack of any kind of detailing on the wings, other than, okay, yeah, this looks like a dinosaur wing, which I greatly appreciate, and the molding is excellent, but it's all just a big slab of red. I would have loved something, maybe some silver going along the tips of the wings, or maybe some more green or more purple somewhere. That would have been fantastic. Not exactly animation accurate, I realize, but somebody can hope. I think I have seen some customizers out there take this figure and add a little bit more pizzazz to it. Now, other than that, it's fine. The dino mode is fine. It's not great. There's a whole lot of robot kibble under there. I mean, it looks like the robot is literally squatting down to take a poo. But other than that, it's just fine. The gun can be mounted in this mode. It can be plugged in via these little pegs on either side of the gun barrel. It can be pegged here on the back of the thigh like that, or it can be mounted underneath one of the wings like that. It's very loose, that mount. It's not exactly, well, let's just say the connection is tenuous at best. It's fine. Now, mold. Or I don't want to even say mold brother or mold sister in this case, because TERRORSAUR is a heavy retool of AirRazor. There's a lot going on here that Airazor doesn't have going on. Her wingspan, though, is wider. It really, well, actually, you know what? I'm not totally sure. Let's check. Oh, yeah. Hers is definitely just a smidge wider. Just a smidge. Because if you extend her wings out all the way, just a smidge, like literally just a smidge, but they're very similar figures. We just have Dino Bird and Bird Bird. At the end of the day, Terrorsaur's okay. It's not the best figure in the world. It's okay. I'm glad to have a Terrorsaur, though. I'm glad we've got that to go with the rest of our beasties and Predacons, which is nice. I appreciate that. But transforming it, it's not the hardest transformation in the world. It is fiddly, especially with this torso section, but otherwise, it's not that bad. And I think having Airazor before it makes a big difference, because having Airazor and having experience with this mold beforehand does make it a little bit easier. Things I don't like the looseness in the joints of the legs, and quite frankly, the wings, the plastic doesn't feel great. It really doesn't. It feels very, very cheap and hollow, especially these bits, the wing tips. They just fall off. You've seen it happen at least once already. So the question is Terrorsaur worth having? I think so. I think it is worth having, especially if you're trying to complete an original set of Predacons. Hasbro's done a good job here. Now, you can get this one at retail, or you can try and get one of the boxes for the Golden Disc version of Terrorsaur from the Hasbro Pulse or from the third-party market. I'm more partial to this one. I know that's kind of sacrilege, especially for somebody who is such an animation purist as myself, but I just like this one. I like it better for some reason. It just works for me on a level that the other one didn't, and I think that's because there's a more cohesiveness color scheme going on with this guy and the rest of the Predacons. Now, obviously, I don't have Tarantulas yet. I really want to get him just so I can, have all the Predacons from Season 1, but he's not here yet. Now, that cohesiveness that I'm mentioning is the purple. We got the great big purple people eater as the leader. We got purple here, and then Scorponok has purple. Yeah, the purple. It really ties the team together, and Tarantulas is purple too. So, folks, let me know what you think of Terrorsaur down in the comments. If you had to choose between the mainline release that is the toy-accurate version or the Generations release that is the animation-accurate version, which one would you choose? All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I've got more reviews coming up, including the buzzworthy Bumblebee Creatures Collide 4-pack and Motormaster from Transformers Legacy. That'll be coming this week. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you all next time.